family in here.
Oh, watch your language.
Ooh. All right, and we're live.
Woo!
I see.
Fuck yeah!
Hey Josh, I got a cousin here. Hey Chelsea, Cody, Jeff Solomon's in the house. That's cool. That'll be the last time I look at the chat all night. It's now on
Okay.
Jeff Solomon. All right, hold on. I gotta boost my network a little bit. Everybody's watching shows. I gotta slow them.
Stubbs in the house.
Stubbs
watching the shows.
Hey Jeff McKinney. Jeff, rumor has it Jeff McKinney may watch us live tonight.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. Jeff McKinney kills it on Twitter. I don't know how he does in the chat.
We got some fun things to talk about tonight, kids.
Hi, Alexandra.
Hey, Alex. We got some shitty stuff to taste. A
couple people wrote messages in the chat and then retracted them. Ooh. What the hell were you guys talking about?
Oh. Bumwine Bob commented on this. Yes. Oh God, this is gonna be an episode. All right. Jeff Solomon, you have your fuzzy navel, right?
Yeah, I also got a Boone's Farm too, so.
All right.
I've got lint in my navel.
Oh God.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Glass here. I've got some ibuprofen because I'm sure I'm gonna need that.
Oh, great visual joke for an audio intended podcast.
We're not recording the show yet. So like, can you see the color of this?
Yeah.
It's not. It's like something that's a pastel-y pink, like Miami Vice or something like that.
That sounds like, and I could be totally wrong. Is that magenta? That sounds like a fancy color.
Yes, it is kind of a magenta color.
It's magenta.
I thought it was more like a Paws dyed egg pink.
Oh God. I didn't know you were such like a label whore when it came to egg dye. Oh, I only use Paws.
I'll use Kroger next year. Sorry.
Well, the thing I like about Paws is I think they do have the best like perforated finger puppet animals. The chickie and the lamb. Oh, hours of fun.
Plus the little copper wire thing that they give you actually holds up for, most of the evening as opposed to some other cheapos that just start to bend after a while.
Salmon. Remember that commercial? What's your favorite color? Oh, salmon. I like salmon. Just some extreme dudes driving trucks. Salmon. That's actually the color of my Boone's Farm. It's salmon.
It looks more like apple juice.
Oh God.
From Airplane.
Oh.
Due to a mix-up in urology, we will not be serving apple juice today.
All right, you guys ready to do this?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. I am recording. Hold on, make sure I'm recording. Recording there. We're live on YouTube. Right?
Oh, hey, Jeff McKinney. It's good to see you live.
All right. Awesome. Here we go.
Hey, this is Annie Pouch with Brew Cruise, Santa Cruz's microbrewery tour. I am on We Like Drinking podcast, where you never drink alone.
At the sound of the tone, the official We Like Drinking time will be 5 o'clock. Commence consumption.
This week on episode episode 275 of the We Like Drinking podcast, we'll be discussing virtual beer festivals, Zoom drinking, and we're rolling on up to Boone's Farm. So crack open your beers, uncork that wine, and let's get drinking. Yes, folks, you heard that right. Boone's Farm is in the house on this episode tonight. So let me start off while I still can and say cheers, my podcast drinking friends, and welcome to Happy Hour 275 of your favorite award-winning topical beer and wine education podcast focusing on fun.
Fun. So Solomon's Boone's Farm looks tropical.
I was gonna say hits of coconut and suntan lotion.
Is that a hazy Boone's Farm you're drinking?
Apparently so. Mine has certified color, so fuck you guys.
I did reach out to Gallo to find out what that means. If you're curious a little later.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be great.
Make sure you never miss another episode of our brand of drinking fun by visiting welikedrinking.com/subscribe.
Make sure you never miss an episode.
I know, right? I can't speak tonight. It's all this. Oh, Christ. Oh,
I'm so upset.
I just got a waft of my drink. It smells like tussin. Oh, that's not fantastic. So let's find out who we're drinking with tonight. Who we're turning into enemies. We've got our usual panel members. We have our California Sustainable Wine Growing Ambassador and recovering wine blogger, Jeff Solomon.
Shalom.
We have our beer brewer and snake wrangler, John Ruyak.
Hola.
And I'm your host and certified specialist wine, Jeff Eccles. All right, folks. So this week we're getting around to our monthly tasting episode, and this one's got a story all on its own about how we got here. So you know how the process usually works. We put 4 options out to our Patreons and they vote on it. Well, the problem with it is because, we don't have a lot of Patreons, listeners. It's just the truth. We don't. And so there's been a number of times where we've ended up in a tie, and I have to break the tie. And one of our listeners, who is also watching tonight, Jeff M, he said, why don't you let us choose, and then you take it to the tavern and let them vote on it? I said, that's a fantastic idea, Jeffrey M. And so we put it out to the Patreons, and it started out so positive. People were throwing out Malbec. There was how about port? Riesling was brought up. Some great things. And then one of our Patreons, one of my best friends in the world, actually, Mike M. We like to call him Omo, in the Chicago area, said Boone's Farm. Vintage doesn't matter. So I added that to the list, and within 3 minutes of posting it to the tavern, it was over in a landslide.
Petit Verdot was ahead for like 10 seconds
because you voted for it.
Yeah, first.
So it became clear really quickly that Boone's Farm was going to be the victor, and it ended up a landslide, 20 plus votes beyond anything else. Everybody gave us Boone's Farm, and the tavern has been full of excitement that we're drinking. Yeah. Like some of our viewers on the YouTubes may be drinking it tonight with us. Jeff,
there you go. Yeah, you already made one bad decision by watching the show. You may as well keep it going. It's like glow in the dark cheese whiz. It's like the product never had any integrity anyway, so just keep it going.
Keep it coming. All right, so let's walk through what we're drinking. We don't have to get to the tasting notes quite yet. You're free to start drinking now, though, guys, if you want. So, Jeff Solomon, let's start with you.
I have to say that I was getting really upset when I first saw that Boone's Farm was gonna be what we were gonna drink this week, and not quite for what you might think. Remember, I rushed out to get the coffee wine. I drank 40s on episode 40, but this one, we're still in a lockdown, y'all. We're still sheltering in place, and I'm just looking online at my local stores. And I could not see any place that had Boone's Farm. And I was not going to go store to store and start sifting through shelves in this day and age. And I sent these guys a private message. I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to swing it. And I'm like, I guess I'll check one of the delivery services. And I'm not going to name which one, but there's a certain cart delivery service where you can instantly put food items into a cart. And I found that one of the distributors did have Boone's Farm. They only had one flavor. It was the fuzzy navel, which was $2.95. The delivery fee was $8.99. And I felt so bad. I gave the dude a $10 tip because dude drove down from San Francisco to give me some Boone's Farm fuzzy navel. I'll talk more about it, but I mean, honestly, like, this is not essential. And I really feel bad about this decision. And you guys should all feel bad. You're not our friends. We're just a bunch of fucking clowns to you. That's what it is.
Guinea pigs.
I figured it out.
I'm sure no one listening to this right now feels bad.
No, it's a bunch of LOLs and ha-ha-has.
I went to the E&J Gallo website, and they have a handy find our product. So I had to go about a 25-minute drive was the closest place that carried the Boones in my city. I was really looking for the Strawberry Hill because that's just the classic. That's what we all remember from our youth. But they didn't have any. They only had Fuzzy Navel, which Jeff Solomon was drinking, so I didn't want to get that. So I just grabbed the only other one. It's a nice. We were talking about the show before the show. It's kind of a pastel-y pink. Jeff Solomon says maybe a magenta.
Magenta. If I knew what color that actually was, I think it sounds like magenta. Yeah.
This is Boone's Farm Snow Creek Berry. It looks like it's got some raspberries on it, some that are blue and pink. So that's what I've got. I'll get in more into the label a little bit later. But John Ruyak,
Yes. What would you like to know?
what's your drinking tonight, you son of a?
Well, I've got a very upset spouse
Mhm.
because I dragged her to 2 Smiths, 2 Sprouts, and an Albertsons with no luck of finding any Boone's Farm. I had a good shot at thinking I was going to find it at Trader Joe's, but the line is like an hour and 15 minutes to get into a Trader Joe's. So I am treating myself. We went on a hike today.
Did you at least like get some Corona or something crappy that you can suffer through it with us?
He's like surprised. He's like, oddly enough, I went to Whole Foods. There wasn't any Boone's Farm there.
No, we went on a hike today. We took a half a bottle of Vivox Dixon Red, which is 50% Leon Merlot, 25% Baco Noir, and 25% Cab. And so we drank half of that sitting next to a waterfall, and I'm drinking the other half of that right now.
I went to Drager's and I couldn't find Boone's Farm. This guy over here.
Look, I made I get kicked
I was
out
at
of a
Nordstrom's. I didn't see anything.
I got kicked out of a Circle K because I didn't have a mask on yesterday in Socorro, New Mexico, trying to find frickin' Boone's farm out in the boonies of New
If
Mexico.
you'd have had a mask, you would have gotten it there. You son of a bitch.
All right.
So I made a good faith effort, but no, I just honestly couldn't find it. I'm pretty sure I've seen it at Total Wines, but they are not open at this point.
Okay, we can look forward to your tasting notes, John Riak. All right,
Yeah.
so before we go any further with the tasting, let's warm up our brains a little bit with a little bit we like to call wine, beer, spirit, or pop culture reference. This is where I'm going to give the panel a term, and they're going to try to tell me if this is a wine term, a beer term, a spirit term, or some kind of pop culture reference. The term this week is assessance. So is assessance a wine term, a beer term, a spirit term, or a pop culture reference? John Ruyak.
Mr. Eccles.
Yes, sir.
Would you be so kind as to spell that term for us and our listening audience?
You have it. Here we go. It is ACESCENCE. Assessance.
Assessance. Wow.
Yeah. And here we go with my favorite part of the show, dead air.
Yeah. No, it's a shitty term. That's the problem,
Thanks,
Jeff.
Solomon.
Like, there's nothing funny about it. Like, if it was spelled with an E, I had a whole essential oils joke, just like in the chamber, ready to go. Assessence. ACESCENCE.
Yes.
Ah. It's almost, when you look at it on paper, like it almost sounds like seance, right? Like it almost reads that way. And I'm thinking that assessance is when you're putting in a bid on a house, but you found out that somebody died in the house, and then so you have an assessance to figure out if the ghosts are still around and whether or not they are going to decrease the value of your home throughout the time that you own it. Assessance. So I guess that's a pop culture reference.
Sure. that seems really poppy right now. John Ruyak, did you come up with anything?
No.
You're just batting 1,000 for the show.
Yeah, I know. I feel really bad that I couldn't find this shitty wine that you guys are drinking, but only for a split second. No, I do. It's not fair. I'll have some Boone's Farm later on somewhere when the world almost returns to normal. I don't know. I feel a sense of
I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, John.
If you're not going to do it tonight, why the hell would you even think about doing it again? Anyway,
I drank porter with a dry cherry ice cream thing. I mean, that was...
You can't be doing callbacks to episode 63, John. What's assessance?
Assessance, John. The act of picking up the pace.
Oh, no. Assessance. Something tells me this is a wine term, and it has something to do with the process of maybe adding some sort of or removing skins or something like that in the after fermentation or something weird.
Okay. All right. So Jeff Solomon, I don't know what the hell did you even say? This is a seance conducted in a home where somebody died to find out if the price should be lowered.
Yes, exactly.
A pop culture reference.
I like that. I like that answer much better than mine.
John Ruyak is saying some kind of wine term that has to do with peeling the skins off the grapes after fermentation?
Somebody said in the
One at a
chat,
time.
and I'm not going to take too long to scroll back up and attribute this to anybody. But some schmuck in the chat said, "Whatever you do, don't try to Google that term. You'll end up at a nasty website."
That's entirely possible. All right.
And McKinney said it's an Evanescence tribute band.
Oh my god.
That's better than the real answer. So Jeffrey McKinney wins. All right. So assessance is in fact, John Ruyak, a wine term. It is by definition, it is wine with a sharp, sweet, and sour tang to it, frequently related to having a vinegary smell. Assessance. Oops. Assessance.
So it's a fault then.
It's not a fault. But it's what the wine would turn it as it's turning into a shit or something like that.
Oh god.
So,
I guess that's a good descriptor of Boone's farm.
Yeah,
I'm feeling the assessance from over here.
All right,
Smell that assessance.
All right, so I guess
Oh,
we can go ahead
God.
and get started with this tonight. Oh god, it's so fizzy.
Yeah, so here's what's interesting before I even get into the color and the nose. So
you have a Frizzante Boone's Farm?
I mean, mine, there is a little frizzante to it. So, my only option here was the fuzzy navel. And I remember seeing those labels from back in the day. I, too, was a Strawberry Hill guy myself. But, I get the fuzzy navel delivered, $20 for, a $2.99 wine. And the thing that struck me odd first was that as I read this label, not a wine. Boone's Farm, fuzzy navel, not a wine. It's a beer with natural flavor and certified color. It is 3.2% alcohol by volume. So legitimately, this is a beer that you could buy in the great state of Utah. Boone's Farm. You could get it at a grocery store in Colorado even.
Absolutely. So speaking to that,
what is certified color? My brain's about to explode. I've got a picture of my serving suggestion. You notice I poured this in a beer glass over ice because that's what's on the fucking label. If I did ever have any of this back in 1998, and I'm not saying I did because I wasn't of age yet, but I think we just drank straight from the bottle.
Yeah, I mean, that is the right way to drink this.
Brown bagged.
Yeah, I am.
And we used to be like, I'm so wasted. It's 3.2%. This whole thing is barely a pint and a half.
I mean, I put mine into a shaker pint because what the fuck? But
yeah, so, Solomon, you're watering down a 3.2 beer.
I know. I'm drinking Coors Light with certified color.
So I reached out to Boone.
What the hell is certified color?
I reached out to Boone's Farm and asked them that very question. What is certified color? They say the certified colors are natural coloring agents approved for use in alcohol beverages. Sincerely, Boone's Farm.
They wrote sincerely at the end. So it's any artificial color that you add to any. Nobody else writes certified color.
Right.
It's just color.
Yeah. On my Snow Creek Berry, mine says flavored apple wine product. Mine comes in at a whopping 3.9%. Jeff Solid.
What?
I think one of my favorites on the label is it doesn't say serve cold. It says serve very cold.
Ice cold.
A giant star behind it to really draw your eye to the importance of serving it Very cold.
And Eurohawk in the chat says that Strawberry Hill is 7.5%. So that is that's the big daddy.
That's getting to almost a legit line.
That's almost like an IPA.
I the other thing I like about this is that it does give you an ingredients list.
Oh,
that's kind of nice of them. Carbonated water, apple wine, dextrose, fructose, natural and artificial flavors. What else do we got in here?
Certified color.
Yeah, we've got some FD&C red number 40, some blue number 1 coming out of Modesto, California.
Yeah, mine
nuts.
That is pretty cool. Mine also has an ingredients list: carbonated water, beer, high fructose corn syrup, yada yada whoopty whoop. My God, this is coming out of Modesto.
I'm
not here to talk shit, but ain't nothing nice coming out of Modesto.
So I find it interesting, and it does come from Gallo. Let's give some props to Gallo.
Yeah, let's get him more traffic. You already mentioned gallo.com 3 times tonight.
Other fine products, Apothic Red, Andre California Champagne, Barefoot.
They also own Stagecoach Vineyard now. So
Carlo Rossi by the jug. With the finger handle. But what is interesting about this, Jeff, is that you say it's a beer and mine says it's a wine, right? And so it started out purely as an apple wine, but they have transitioned some of them to malt based, purely for tax reasons and for where they can sell it. Because in states like Utah, you can't sell wine in a convenience store or a grocery store, so they made it a malt beverage, so they could put it in a 7-Eleven.
In Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Smart marketing, I gotta say.
Woo.
All right. So I guess it's time to get into my head is a waft in the aromas of this. I said it smelled like nothing. I kind of got to refine that. It's really more of the children's Tylenol. That fake
orange, like Flintstones vitamins.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like the children's Advil or children's Tylenol, and that may be their demographic. They may be going for the younger with this. So, but you know what? Before we, let's do the tasting, and then we can talk about Boone.
Okay.
All right. Solomon, you want to go first with your fuzzy navel?
The fuzzy navel over ice. And by the way, they don't list exactly what flavors are supposed to be in here, but I do see images of both peaches and oranges on the same label, along with a nice tall chilled glass, as I have here as well. And so it is nice and cold. It is #very cold up in this hazy. And I will say, color wise, you were talking about children's Tylenol. I'm going to go children's ibuprofen over here, which of course always comes in the orange package. And it's pretty true to that color. And on the nose, I'm getting a whole lot more of like a peachy type of essence. I'm getting a lot more of that stone fruit there. There's layers of citrus throughout, but this is much more peach on the nose. I should let people know right now I have a slight allergy to the fuzzier stone fruits like peaches. So we'll see what happens. If my mouth starts itching, don't worry, I'll survive. I'll just be really annoyed.
Okay, so we don't need an EpiPen or anything like that.
No. I've got a nice can of Promised Land craft beer to get into afterwards. But yeah, that's what I'm getting on the nose. You want me to just go ahead and take a chug right now?
We'll just get it over with.
The chat is going crazy right now. They're so excited. You know, it's not horrible. And in fact, if you told me that this was like a peach driven juicy kombucha, I could kind of get behind it.
Okay.
And on like a hot day, I know it kind of looks kind of heavy, but it's actually pretty like crisp and light. And I could kind of God, this is not what I was intending at all. I could kind of go for this occasionally, like given the circumstances. Again, much more peach and stone fruit driven. And you are getting like a whole mouthful of peaches there, again, with like layers of that citric acid. And I wouldn't even go so far as to say that it's definitely orange, but it's just that citrus type of family. Yeah. Hey, Mikey, he likes it. This is not something that I'm ever going to pay exorbitant fees for and wait by my door for hours to get again. But yeah, it's not awful. I will give you that. It's not awful. And I think the fact that it's only 3.2%, I think helps. And I think the acidity here helps counterbalance what I would be afraid of would be something that is overly sweet.
Really? Like
Yeah.
Balance. Okay.
It is not cloyingly sweet at all. I would imagine that, you can see I barely poured like past the shoulder from this bottle. I can imagine that if you were just living it up and you were going to drink like 10 ounces of this, it might get to a point where the sweetness might have more of an impact, but no, it's fine.
I'm curious. I think we heard there's one person that's also drinking some Boones in the crowd tonight. Let Jeff Solomon know in the chat if you are drinking the Boones tonight as well.
If you are, and which flavor are you drinking and what are you getting from it? And I'm sorry if you said it earlier, say it again so I can see it.
I believe the Eurohawk was saying the Strawberry Hill was rocking the 7.5%.
Oh, Eurohawk's drinking that. Okay.
So
I'll
I'm
check
not sure. That's my question, is if they're drinking it. All right. So
what you're saying is it's kind of a lawnmower fruit flavored malt beverage.
Yeah. And honestly, I'll be the first one to tell you, like, there's a time and a place for white Zinfandel. Right. I can think of more times and places for fuzzy navel.
Is it kind of true to a fuzzy navel?
Like the mixed drink? I'm not a big like cocktail person, so I couldn't even tell you. But yeah, it's fine.
All right, so I'm gonna get into this Snow Creek Berry. Like I said, on the nose, it's just overpowering in the children's Tylenol, children's ibuprofen, that kind of berry aroma, and very fake on the aroma as well. Not even.
And I will say real quick, confirmation from the chat room. Nobody's drinking Strawberry Hill. It's just that somebody works for Gallo and they're in the chat right now. So they were dropping knowledge. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gallo.
Okay. All right. So out of my shaker pint, on the palate on the Snow Creek Berry. It has a long finish. It's very, very much like a watermelon Jolly Rancher mixed with green apple. So if you melted those two Jolly Ranchers down together, I think you'd be pretty close to what this is. I imagine I don't know if it's the acidity or the effervescence in it, the bubbles in it that kind of counterbalances the super cloyingly sweet taste of it. But let me go in for another one here.
By the way, Jason Stubblefield of the award-nominated One Bourbon, One Charter, One Beer podcast says that Snow Creek is a classic. So I'd be interested to hear like his recollection of the flavor profile, juxtaposed to your in the moment tasting notes.
Yeah, I really wanted to crush the hate on this, but I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Jeff, that this isn't terrible, which I think is high marks.
I think so. Like I'm thinking back to our White Claw episode again.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, fans. I'm thinking back to our White Claw episode, and I found that I was much more disappointed by the White Claw. I think there was a lot more hate that you could throw at them. And I think maybe there's this thing where it's like, I don't like I don't like folks that are like driven by like nostalgia, where it's like, oh, the McRib is back. Like, who gives a shit? And so like, I would imagine that you definitely know people. There are people in your life that get stoked on Boone's Farm. They're like, yeah, Boone's Farm's fucking awesome. And then there's probably a lot more people in our life. They're like, ugh, Boone's Farm. And I think the reality is it's somewhere in the middle. This is not awesome. It's not.
I will say,
yeah,
the finish on this is surprisingly forever. Like, I'm still tasting this Jolly Rancher. I don't want to say that it's coated my palate, but at the same time, it's kind of coated my palate. I don't feel the film. There's no filmy feel. If I lick my teeth, I get a little I get a little children's Tylenol kind of rocking component there. So hella long finish on this, which isn't necessarily a great thing. But I think I'm going to hit my required drinking amount here.
Yeah. I wonder, after this ice melts, I might drink all the weird water that's left, and then maybe try a little Boone's Farm near the end of the show, a little bit warmer and neat, and we'll see if I have the same same love.
I had a
for the
shiver
Boone's
go
Farm.
up my spine when you said that.
But then again, it's like, if you drank any beer like warm later on, like you wouldn't be that stoked on it. But then again, how many beers do you know of that need to be poured over ice to be enjoyable? So that's something. But yeah, Boone's Farm, Fuzzy Navel, you're okay. You're okay in my book.
The biggest takeaway I have is this just incredibly long finish that it just sticks with you.
Ribs sticking wide. Right there, like a hungry man dinner.
Oh my Lord. You speak to the nostalgia. I have fun memories of Boone's Farm in my past. I think, I have my close group of friends from college, my family, if you will. And it was like a tradition as everybody started getting, we went on road trips, and Boone's Farm would end up in the road trip at some point. There was this song, it was called like Past the Dutchie.
Yeah.
And we bought a K-Tel mixtape on a road trip to Chicago. And that was on it, and somehow that became Boone's Farm. So we always were drinking from the bottle, and we had to pass it with our left hand. And shout out to Omo and Deco and TD and Becky and the Grinch and all my friends that were in that group. When somebody would get married, this would make its way into the wedding party sometime. I have fond memories of this drink. growing up, but yeah, I don't visit it anymore.
I will say that too, and I will say that there is some nostalgia behind this. So I too will say, shout out to everybody at Markham Hall at San Jose State. You know what I'm saying? To Nick and to Eric and to Greg and JD and Kyle and Zeke and Cortland and White Chris and Black Chris. I love you guys.
Yeah. Linda, Alex, I got to throw them in as there. These were my people back in the day.
Oh, and Fat Chris, I forgot Fat Chris.
All the Chris's. All right, I guess John Riak, we'll give you 30 seconds to taste your drink.
Well, all I'll say is that the certified color on this is gorgeous, deep red. Just aromas of berry and dried berry and on the palate. Dried berry, a little bit of European earthiness in this one. Kind of digging it.
Bitch.
Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Jess.
That sounds fantastic. John,
and Chris and Lana, thank you.
John, you come from a bit of a different era. Do you have any nostalgic remembrances of the Boones?
Of Boone's Farm? Yeah, actually, Boone's Farm it's kind of a late 60s thing, right? And it wasn't our deal when I was growing up and drinking before the age of, in New York you could drink when you were 18. But Boone's Farm was, sorry folks, but Boone's Farm was what the hippies drank. And when we had parties, we drank Genesee Cream Ale or Utica Club. Boone's Farm was something that it kind of skipped my coming of age thing. It wasn't, I was more of a Bartles and James wine cooler.
Oh guy. Yeah. Oh, I don't forgot Boone's Farm shit. Pass the wine coolers.
Pass the Bartles and James.
Jeff McKinney was just saying he was a Mad Dog 2020 aficionado back in the day, and Night Train as well.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I have some horrible memories of Mad Dog 2020. Oh
no, Everclear and Coke. But anyway,
and dude, isn't this great? We're all reminiscing about the stuff that we drank before we were 21, and it was all the exact same stuff. Brought to you by the E&J Gallo brand of wines. I mean, this is worse than candy cigarettes, dude.
This is big sugar oldie in the wine industry.
Oh my god!
I think Jeff McKinney also called John Riak's wine drinking here a buzz killer, show killer, show killer.
Sorry.
Way to go.
I feel like a fifth wheel, but
you feel like $100 is what you feel like.
Dude, I've hiked like 18 miles the last 2 days. I'm going strong.
Then again, I will say again, to recap, the Boone's Farm Fuzzy Navel, it's really honestly not bad. It's not bad. And yes, I am looking for a sponsorship deal. It's not bad.
I won't go so far as to say Snow Creek Berry is not bad. Like, I don't think I'm going to that high a level, but I will say it's not terrible. There's a lot of fakey fake in it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, none of these are holding a candle to, a fresh crowler of high key IPA at 7.9% from Promised Land Brewing in Gilroy, California, delivered fresh to my door once a week at this point.
I think I have to move on as well. My tum-tum's getting a little upset.
Yeah, I am going to tell my wife that this is kombucha, and
I'm moving on to the Pikes Peak Elephant Rock IPA. All right, so I think that's it. Is there anything else? Was there any factoids we missed on the Boone's farm?
No, I think that's it. We are they're clamoring in the chat for us to record an after party tomorrow morning.
No. All right, let's move on. From that, let's get into some hard hitting booze news. We discuss interesting, noteworthy, or something that doesn't have to do with Boone's fucking farm. John Ruyak.
Dateline, Wake County, North Carolina. Raleigh's Broogaloo Craft Beer Festival is going virtual this weekend. So this is kind of cool. There was in Raleigh, North Carolina, they have this Broogaloo Beer Festival every year in mid-April. And for this year, it was scheduled for like 15, 16, 17, 18. Obviously, that didn't happen. So what they've done is they've created this virtual brew festival where you go to this particular place. It's a theater somewhere in Raleigh, and you just show up and show your ID, and they will load you up with either a 6-pack, a 12-pack, or a full case, either by style or just completely miscellaneous of all the different beers you could have tried at the brew festival. And 100% of the funds from this virtual Broogaloo Brew Festival is going back to the brewers. The event organizers aren't taking a cut of anything. So that's pretty neat. And you just, go back and test out the wares of the 100 different breweries that usually show up for this thing. And, if you got a full case, man, you get some nice stuff, I would imagine. I mean, the bummer is that you're not getting because they normally have like 50 local food trucks, and that's also part of brew festivals, right? Is tasting the beers, going around to a couple of food trucks, sitting down and listening to some music. So too bad they couldn't do that, and I see why they couldn't. But at least they're trying this, and I think that's a pretty neat thing.
That is pretty cool. That's a pretty great way to still have it. When is it again?
You can pick up your stuff this weekend. You just show up. Why can't I not see the name of this theater that you're supposed to go to? It's called you get a taste of the Triangle Pack. So this is the Research Triangle. It's Raleigh, Durham, and whatever city Wake Forest is or whatever in that area. And the Lincoln Theater in Raleigh. Here, I finally found it. Show your ID through the window, pay your price for whatever you're going to get, and you'll get your taste of the Triangle in a 6-pack, 12-pack, or a full case. And they'll put it in the trunk of your car, and you don't have to touch anything, until you take it out and open it.
That's really cool, but I'm really curious. I guess if I think of a beer festival, it's all kegs, right? They're bringing their kegs in.
Yeah.
And so is it, and there may be a lot of experimental stuff. So is this just they're changing up what they're bringing? They're just bringing their standard, and this is only places that do canning.
I would imagine canning or bottling of that nature. It doesn't say, It doesn't say whether they're crowlers or what have you. I say, when they say 6-pack, 12-pack, or 20 or a case, you're not thinking that's going to be a 16-ounce crowler,
right?
So whoever was going to be at this festival, whoever was canning, I guess, is sending that stuff along. So obviously, to your point, experimental batches, things of that nature, probably aren't getting the package treatment. But
it's a great way that they can still check the box that they did the Broogaloo. And let people participate. Does it say if they're going to have any like virtual tastings along with it, where you can crack open some of the stuff that you got with other people?
I don't see anything about virtual tastings. I do see the fact that they're trying to reschedule this for August 14th and 15th. And, That's all I have to see. I mean, I don't see anything about sharing tasting notes and things of that nature on here. Although that would be cool if you could create some sort of
Yeah, something.
maybe on a website or something of that nature where you could maybe go through some sort of best of show type of thing for what showed up, but that might be a little difficult. I think
Yeah.
at this point, are we really talking about competitions? We're talking about survival, folks. So
Solomon, you look like you had something you wanted to
Yeah,
add.
yeah. I was, as you were talking about this, I was like, I feel like I saw something about like something similar going on in my neck of the woods, and I did just want to give a quick shout out. The San Francisco Beer Festival Digital Edition is happening on May 2nd. And what you can do if you're in the greater San Francisco Bay Area is for $45, they're going to send you a case of beer, and a video link is going to be sent out on Saturday, May 2nd. It's 2 hours worth of brewers giving tasting notes on the beers that you're receiving. And so it makes me think that, if you're not local to, the different festivals that we're talking about right now, I bet you if you just looked at your greater metropolitan area and looked up like digital beer festival or even digital wine festival, I bet you some of you, like in the cooler markets, like not in Modesto, you're not going to get anything good in Modesto, but you might see things like this in other regions too, which is actually, that to me is really inspiring. That to me is really exciting. It was interesting seeing on the news the other day the digital 420 festivals that were going on. So
Yeah,
people find a way.
here in Colorado Springs, it's not a festival, but our good friend and two-time guest Ryan Hannigan from Focus on the Beer, they're putting on every Friday. I think they're doing a Zoom chat, and they're bringing a local brewer on, and they announce it ahead of time so that if you want to go get some of their beer, and then you can be on the show with the brewer or be on the Zoom with the brewer every Friday night. So it's a really cool thing that they've started up there at the FOT Bay. So yeah, Jeff, I think that's a fantastic idea. Look in your local area for those kind of things, or really look anywhere. Shit.
And what about this? If they don't have something like this in your local area, maybe you set it up.
There you go.
And call it the We Like Drinking Digital Fest.
As long as it's cool. Actually, doesn't matter. Do it for Boone's. We don't care.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome, John. That's awesome, Jeff. Anything else on that one, guys?
support your local brewery.
Do it.
Yeah, man.
All right. Jeff Solomon, speaking of Zoom meetings.
Yeah. Well, my goodness, this came across my periphery a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sorry I didn't get it into the notes earlier. Our good buddy Sam Slaughter of the Manual put together an amazing write-up of the greatest, most germane drinking game on the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, the Zoom Room drinking game. Here it is by Sam Slaughter of the Manual. When
Also,
you get it,
let's also take a moment
yes,
and just throw out that Sam Slaughter was a guest on the One Bourbon, One Shard, or One Beer podcast hosted by our good friend Stubb. And fuck you, Kern.
well, if that shit happened, forget it. I'm not reading the rest of the article. I do not put up with podultery over here.
All right, so what are the rules?
And hey, the fine folks from Wine Antics, I saw were chiming in as well. So one drink for every mention of the coronavirus. This could actually be the We Like Drinking game also. Every time someone starts a meeting with, "Hey, how you holding up?" Every time someone says, "Sorry, I was on mute." For every time zone that is represented, have a drink. Every time somebody talks over somebody else, for every person who is not wearing pants, have a drink. 2 drinks every time someone joins a meeting with Spotify still on in the background. That must be like for the millennials or something like that. Every time somebody uses a fake background, every time someone comments on a fake background.
Oh, now we're getting into some serious drinking here.
What are we drinking? Like 3 point? Are we drinking fuzzy navels? Because I've just thinking about it, I'm pretty buzzed.
2 beers.
Yeah, I'm pretty drunk already. Any 3 drinks anytime somebody relocates mid-meeting, or anytime someone has a laptop sitting on their body so it moves constantly. 4 drinks every time a pet, child, significant other, roommate interrupts in some way. And of course, be safe if you're doing this stuff. If you're doing this, don't drive. But then again, even if you haven't been drinking at all, don't fucking leave your house, motherfuckers.
Why is that, Jeff?
Because coronavirus. Drink. But yeah, you can have some fun. And, obviously, I know you all weren't writing that down as I was listing it off. So please just go ahead and use the Google for the Zoom Room drinking game from themanual.com. And give them some love if you did it and you had a blast.
Or go to the show notes for We Like Drinking and click the link.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess there's that too.
It's the Bob Newhart of 2020.
All right. Yeah, we could do that. That's something that we should probably have already done for the people watching the show live at welikedrinking.com/show.
Every Wednesday around 7:30-ish Pacific.
All right. John, Jeff, anything else on that? Those were some quick booze newsies.
I couldn't survive 10 minutes in a Zoom drinking game.
I can barely survive 10 minutes in a Zoom. Hey, can we throw this out there? If you did a virtual background like in March, I'm going to give you a pass. But everybody else who's still playing around with virtual backgrounds at this point, just stop. And everybody that encourages it by going, oh, that's crazy. How'd you do that? Just shut up. Just stop. None of us wants to be in this Zoom meeting. Don't make it any worse.
None of us want to be in it.
None of us want to be here.
I think there should be a way, there's always the one person who creates an echo for everybody else. Right? Yep. So you should just like ban that person forever.
Dang.
Right?
Or
going harsh.
Or you go to their house and you take a dump in a paper bag and you light it on fire and go to their doorstep.
Ding dong bitch.
They stomp it out. They got shit. They're gonna shit when they see all that shit. It's gonna be awesome.
All right, I think the Boone's is kicking in. So
when you do ding dong ditch, you're supposed to put dog poop in it, not your own. That's weird.
You don't use human feces when you do that?
No.
I've been doing it all wrong. No wonder people are mad at me.
Jeez.
All right. I think that signifies the moment where we need to call
last call. All you Boone's farmhands.
Time to clean house and dump the Boones. You know what we do here, folks? We're looking for a little bit of help from you. John Ruyak, if the folks want to follow us on the social media platforms, where is the best place for them to do so?
Well, there's that Twitter thing. That's We Like Drinking 1. That's the numeral 1 on Twitter. Instagram. Yeah, We Like Drinking. And our most favorite private group on Facebook is known as The Tavern. Check that out. Facebook.com/tavern.
I don't think that'll actually work.
No.
No, go to welikedrinking.com/tavern and that'll link.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
That'll do it. Jeff Solomon, if the folks have some thoughts on the show, where they can they go to leave them?
Well, those of you watching live on YouTube right now, like I don't know. Oh, mash the like and subscribe button while you're there. But those of you listen to the audio version, take a moment right now, look at your phone, scroll down to where you see an empty 5 stars and poke that mofo until you fill those 5 stars up. Leave a comment about how much you love the show, just like Will Tate Johnson did once in a blue moon.
Good old Whale Tate Johnson. You know what's crazy? If you go out to the iTunes and you click on the We Like Drinking, episode number 1 is always on top. It's still getting tons of downloads, and that episode it
sucks.
It's terrible. It's
not
so
good.
Bad. We should just actually get rid of it because people probably listen to that and they're like, these guys suck, and don't listen anymore. If you've done all that and you're looking to do more, you become an Uber supporter. You could become the top of the top, the king of the hill, number 1 supporter of the We Like Drinking podcast by becoming a Patreon of the show, where you could offer us up to drink Boone's Farm on a future episode, and then the tavern would join in and make it happen. You have that power by visiting welikedrinking.com/pledge to find out how, for as little as $1 a month, you can help ruin our lives.
I was going to say, or help ruin the show. We'll take your money. We'll make a shitty show for you.
All kinds of cool stuff you can get there. There's t-shirts. I know Jeff Solomon's a big fan of the stickers. I've got some coasters here I might be able to give away. You can get Jeff's award-winning guacamole recipe, John Ruyak's coconut porter recipe. There's all kinds of cool stuff. We've added Zoom meetings, possibilities. You can come play the Zoom/We Like drinking game with us live on a Zoom meeting. If we ever do another one, it'll happen. Visit welikedrinking.com/pledge. Find out how you can help us out because we need it. We need it in these dark times. You can also find the show notes for this episode with all the links to the stories or mentions we had at welikedrinking.com/episodes. All right. I don't think I got anything else to say other than, okay, panel, let's take one last trip around this table and get some final thoughts before we shut off the lights. John Ruyak.
Okay, quick little statement and a little bit of nostalgia. Fucking cookbooks. Publishers, make a cookbook that stays open at the goddamn recipe. What is so hard about that? I don't get it.
They do.
They
buy
don't.
One of those cookbook stands.
That still doesn't work.
With a splatter guard. You're telling me those don't work? You're crazy.
No, they don't.
With the ring.
Those were invented in like the 1950s. They made the cookbook stand with the splatter guard.
Or get the books with the ring for the bind.
That's Betty Crocker.
Get into the new millennium, man. Who needs a cookbook? You just go to the YouTube, you look at Jason Stubblefield, and you just copy what he does.
But a little bit of nostalgia. When we're going through these cookbooks, right?
Okay.
And they ask you to use coconut oil. Most times, at this time of year, most places, coconut oil is solid. You got to warm it up a little bit, right? If you put it in the oven and you melt it and you take it out, but you spill a little bit, it smells like melting crayons.
All the info.
That's, just so if you're missing the smell of melting crayons, that's how you get it. You do have to almost start a fire in your house by spilling some coconut oil on the element in your oven, but it works.
Jeff Solomon.
Eccles, I know you were kind of bummed out. You were like, man, I planned out what I was going to say during the whole Patreon pitch, and I don't think anybody caught my references. I did. Go ahead and cut the music. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I wanna be a part of it. New York, New York. I wanna wake up in the city that never sleeps. To find out king of the list, top of the stuff, A number 2, Boone's fuzzy new. These little town blues are running away. I want to let a murder and New York. It's up to you, New York. I only drank down to the shoulder, everybody. I'm high on life right now. Bring the music back.
Folks, hopefully nobody else partook in drinking with us tonight. If you did, we're sorry, but you did it to yourself.
It's yourself.
And with that, I'll say thanks again for joining us at the We Like Drinking podcast. Where you never drink alone. All right. Oh, the chat is just insane. That's awesome, folks. We should. Kelsey just said you guys should make a compilation album of all the singing.
What is happening?
Is that We Like Drinking Hammered? Yeah? Well, turn it up, brah.
Chelsea thinks we should do it as a Patreon perk. The problem is now we're dealing with copyright issues. Like we can't make money off of my beautiful voice singing songs that belong to somebody else.
You gotta stop short of 4 bars. You just got to go 3.5 bars.
That's not true. We just have no. All we have to do is you record your version of it, and then we provide commentary.
No.
Wow, that sucked.
The move is all right. You ready for this? The move is it's the same music, but you add ding in it. That's the Vanilla Ice defense.
It's not dun 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 dun. It's dun 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 dun
dun dun dun dun dun ding.
Oh, what else is going on in the chat, Solomon?
Well, Chelsea would buy it. I'll tell you what, Chelsea, you go ahead and up your Patreon.
No, she doesn't have to do that. We'll make it happen.
No. Up the dough, and then I'll make a video. I'd only be hit with a copyright if they could figure out what the hell I was singing.
Yeah, man. Your New York was it faltered. It wavered a little bit at the end there.
I think Stubb wants to start a band. Let's do it, man. I'm trying to figure out. I was talking to my buddies in my old punk band about like how to play live with each other.
If the Rolling Stones can do it, so can we.
Like without delay. But apparently there are some platforms where they've got some interesting ways to get around delay. So maybe we'll figure out a way to do a jam session sometime.
Oh, damn. Eurohawk said they just released Star Wars virtual backgrounds for the Zoom chats.
No, still not cool.
It's way cool. Shut up, Solomon. You're too young.
No. What are you talking about?
I
was only not alive for the very first one.
Oh, you're not 31 like Stubb. Is that accurate?
No. I'm 41. 41.
Did
Doing
Stub,
an ollie to revert to fakey frontside pop shove it today.
woo!
Woo!
Stub, did you actually turn 32 or did you just kind of reset to 31 again? I'm just curious. Wait for the delay. Oh, damn, Linda joined. She's probably gone by now. Hey, Linda. Thanks for joining, Linda. That
Do a
means a lot.
WLD Zoom background. We'll send that out to people. All you need is like a high res photo, and you can.
Well, we were talking. I said, "Do we need any more factoids?" Omo said, "No factoids needed." We all know.
Stub is officially 32.
Oh, God. That's good. Oh my goodness, this was a lot of fun. This was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. I'll be honest. That color, though, I wish you could really get the true color of this fucking snowberry shit, whatever it is. All right, viewers, thank you. Thank you all so much for joining us. It's so awesome to see more and more people join us in the virtual chat or in the chat every week and watching the show live. Still subscribe to the show. You don't have to listen to it; just download it, then mark as completed, and it'll delete it for you.
I'm pretty sure our audio downloads are down or stagnant right now.
It's been pretty rough since everybody had to stay home, which makes sense.
Nobody has a commute. Like I get it, but it's cool to see everybody jumping in.
Oh, should we get a little taste of who's going to be on the show next week?
Next week, Stub in particular, we're going to have Brent Elliott on from Four Roses joining the show. We've got some special select bottles we're going to be tasting next week. It's going to be pretty amazing. You should be jealous, Stub. Oh my goodness, I'm getting the IPA burps. Were you going to say something, Solomon?
No,
Oh,
just acknowledging the Four Roses thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
When the other guys on the show are like, "Oh yeah, you know who's coming up," I'm like, "Who? I'm excited too." Let's figure it out,
dude. Like,
I know you have a calendar. I don't look at it.
You have access to the calendar too, jackass. Here's the crazy part. We're essentially booked through July now, I think. We've got a lot of spirits coming up, people, by the way. There's a lot of booze coming our way.
Nice.
As long as he gets some hotel bottles here and there.
That's the hope. That's why we do the show, to hopefully get some hotel.
Although if the Balvetti gets on, I certainly want a fifth of that.
Yeah, I should really push for the fifth of that one. Let's be true. All right, so we're gonna drop this. Everybody that joined, this was awesome having you all join. It was great to see you. We hope to see you again. Love you all, and we'll see you all next week.
Thanks, folks. Thank you.
Small batch is where it's at. We've got a little bit of that coming. It's only available in like 5 states. I think they're about to open up what we've got.
Does this look like a heart? I'm showing my heart to everybody. What's that look like?
Night all.
Let's show some gratitude.